go down there and score at the end of the first half. Maybe their offense will be back in gear, but what do they do on defense?
Well, that's the big question. What do you do on defense? You've got to change. You've got to do something different to stop the Broncos. You need some 3 and outs just so you can help your offense get it back in rhythm. They did get some momentum at the end of the half, but they need to keep going forward and gaining it.
Take a look at the halftime statistics. There are a couple of things that jump out at you, not the least of which is time of possession. 21 minutes and change, and less than 9 minutes for the Oakland Raiders. Look at the first down, 17 to 6, and well, just total yardage. It's been a Denver Broncos kind of a day.
Well, the first down, because there's so many of them by the Denver Broncos, that tells you that the Raider defense is playing conservative, and they're making John Elway peck away at them. But what they're doing is the Broncos are stringing enough good plays together to score those touchdowns.
Well, the good news for the Broncos and their fans, they will get the chance to build on any momentum they have built up at the end of the first half because they'll get the ball first here.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
That's all right.
What did I say?
You said the Broncos.
But
that's
you know
okay.
what I meant.
So you've got to make a mistake every once in a while, too.
It's that human element that sneaks in. Happens to sneak in all too often.
Yeah.
So Jason Elam set to kick it away. Desmond Howard, Calvin Branch are deep. This is Howard from the 7. 20. Bounces outside across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. And let's check in once again with Armin Katayan downstairs. Armin.
Greg, going off the field, John Gruden barely spit out the words to me. It's just not good enough. Coming out of the locker room, he confirmed the Raiders have an additional problem. Napoleon Kaufman, who had the ankle injury, has re-injured it. He's very questionable for the second half. If that's not enough, you have to look at this stat. The Broncos are 32-0. 32 straight games they've won when leading at halftime. Back to you.
All right, Armin. And just as you say that, Napoleon Kaufman re-enters the game and takes the handoff.
See, they don't trust Armin. That's what it is. Just kidding.
And John Ritchie trots over to the sideline.
I'd like to see the Raiders offense. I like it. Put the ball in the hands of the quarterback a little more. Give him some of those rollout passes, which he's done so well with the last couple of weeks.
No yardage so far today for Kaufman. Hollis going to throw it. Over the middle, has his man. Wide open, Timmy Brown, midfield, and brought down inside the 45-yard line. Tyrone Braxton made the stop. 32-yard pickup for the Raiders.
Well, Tim Brown has made a living and caught so many passes, lining up in the slot. The tight end goes up the field. Ray Crockett gets in the way, can't chase him across the formation, and Tim Brown has a lot of running room in front of him. Anytime you have man coverage and your guy gets picked off, there's nobody there to tackle you.
First down now at the Denver 41. Kaufman comes left side, looking for running room, finds none, and is shoved out of bounds. He lost yardage on the play. Darian Gordon up from his cornerback spot.
Well, when you come into the game and you are hoping Napoleon Kaufman can be a big part of your offense, your rushing attack, and after 6 carries, he has negative yards. That tells you the Denver Broncos up front, they're winning the war physically. Now the thing is, can they cover the receivers down the field, to help to stop the passing game?
As John Gruden told Armin Katayan, it's just not going to do it, what they've done so far. Hollis. Going to go down. Trevor Price. Third sack of the day for the Bronco defense.
Trevor Price, number 93. Big and active. Just what he does this time, just keeps hustling, gets Lincoln Kennedy. Really not Lincoln Kennedy's fault. He hangs in there as long as he can. What happens is Donald Hollis just can't find somebody open down the field to throw the football to.
Trevor Price now 7 sacks on the season. Harvey Williams back in on 3rd and 14. Hollis going to take off and run and goes down as he crosses the 40-yard line. That is going to be well short of a first down.
Well, he gets tackled on about the 39-yard line for an instant. I said, well, what do you do here? It would be 4th and about 7 to 8 yards. You're on Denver's 39. Do you go for it? They go, no, because if you don't make it, Denver's offense is too good. Don't make the field short. Make them go a long way if they're going to score a touchdown.
Well, we know Araguz has been getting some distance today. Let's see if he can pinpoint it. Lofts it sky high. Gordon going to let it fall. Batted back in to the 5-yard line. Terrific play by the Raiders special teams. Number 25, Anthony Pryor. But now they're saying it's a touchback. We'll take a closer look when we come back. The Raiders are not pleased. The Broncos maybe catch a break.
Any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Anthony Pryor, number 25, watch his right foot on the goal line, and once you touch there, you cannot hit the football back in play. That's why the Denver Broncos get it at the 20.
First down, Elway and the Broncos from their own 20-yard line. They'll go right back to bread and butter. And Terrell Davis picks up maybe 3 or 4 on the line for an NFL Today report. Jim Nantz in New York. Jim.
All right, Greg. Craig Wheelingham got picked off coming out of the locker room for the second half, and the Chiefs take advantage. They've now scored 14 unanswered. It's Bam Morris's second touchdown of the day. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
Kansas City Chiefs fighting for a little respectability, and also so Marcus Allen could walk the streets once again with his head held high. 2nd and 6. Elway with time pulls it down now. Tried to flip it ahead, and that's an incomplete pass. Elway barely got rid of that.
Well, good job just getting rid of the football, avoid the sack. And, you know, Greg, coming after halftime, I said the Raiders need to change their defense, do something different, because what they were doing in the first half didn't work. What they really got to do is just come out, be a little more aggressive in your individual wars with the player you're going against. And the biggest thing of all, tackle Terrell Davis better. They're in position to do it. They just can't get their arms around and bring him down.
Here's a big defensive play for the Raiders on 3rd and 6. 4 wide receivers for the Broncos. Movement on the offensive line. This will go against the Broncos. Number 74, Harry Swain, the right tackle, jumped.
Now see, it's working right for the Raiders here so far.
Right as snap. False start. Number 74, the offense.
And so is Ron Winter's microphone.
Yeah.
Range 3rd down.
See? He's like everybody else. You got to go in halftime and make some good adjustments, so he did it too. The officials, they know what to do. But the Raiders, we talked about it. They need some 3 and outs, the defense. Willie Shaw, so I'm sure he went in there and just said, hey, guys, we're putting you in good positions. Just play harder and execute a little better.
3rd and 11. Over the middle, got his man. Shannon Sharp brought down short of first down yardage. Albert Lewis with the tackle.
Boy, Albert Lewis, that's a good matchup. Albert Lewis used to be a corner, now playing safety against Shannon Sharp. This is one time Shannon Sharp. He can't run away from this defensive back. And a good job by Albert Lewis, knowing the situation, let him catch it, make sure the tackle keeps him short of the first down.
Tom Ruin will kick it away to Desmond Howard. Wobbly kick, bounces. Howard going to let it roll out of bounds at about the 27 or 28-yard line. 44-yard punt, no return, 10:23 to play. 3rd quarter at Mile High Stadium.
Here's 95 and 96, and I would say so. Very solid performance today by Donald Hollis.
Going to throw on first down. Tim Brown, incomplete. Says he had a man on his back. That was Darian Gordon, but there is no flag, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Just good timing by Darian Gordon. Waited till the ball was in the air. Donald Hollis waited just a little too long to let the football go. Lets the cornerback, number 21, Darian Gordon, make the reaction. That's it. When you hit the receiver at the same time as the ball gets there, the official is not going to throw a flag.
Hollis now 9 out of 16 for 149 yards and a touchdown. Throws incomplete. That one between receivers. Tim Brown fell to the turf at about the 40-yard line.
You know, something we saw from Donald Haas watching film the last couple of weeks, he's, you know, a lot of play action fakes, a lot of those where he's getting outside, where he has a chance to run around, get that extra time to throw the football down the field. We have not seen that today. A lot of pressure I think the Raiders are putting on their offensive line by having him just drop straight back every time.
Raiders have had nothing but long yardage on 3rd down today. This is another one. Hollis floats out, throws, complete. Timmy Brown with the reception across the 40-yard line, 14 yards on a 1st down.
Well, that's what he does well right there. We saw it. Hey, the pocket gets a little tight, move out of it, and then does a really good job. What a throw on the run that time to the sideline to Tim Brown.
So that's an Oakland 1st down, now moving out to their own 41-yard line. Harvey Williams, the deep back, behind Hollis. He takes the handoff, has running room, 45, maybe the 46. There you see Barrett Robbins, number 63. He's the Oakland center. He and his wife, Marissa, had a baby girl last Thursday by the name of Madison. Our congratulations go out to them. Hope he's good at naps during the daytime. 2nd and 6. And hitting it hard is John Mobley with the tackle. For an NFL Today report, let's check in again with Jim Nantz in New York. Jim.
All right, they've broken the tie down at Vanderbilt Stadium. The Jets here, 3rd and goal. 3-3, 3rd quarter. Keyshawn Johnson uses the height advantage, pulls it in, and the Jets lead. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
All right, thanks, Jim. One of the ways the Broncos can clinch a postseason spot with a victory today and a Jets win over the Oilers and a Miami loss to New England. Hollis across midfield, complete to Derek Brown for about a 5-yard gain, and Brown is close to a 1st down.
Really close. It's Derek Brown, number 86. You got to know in these situations that play is called for you to go just past the 1st down marker, get to there, and hope the quarterback can throw it to you.
Well, we have a measurement. You know, it's kind of funny to be talking about the Denver Broncos clinching a postseason berth, and we haven't even reached Thanksgiving yet.
Yeah, I know, it really is, and it's something that's happened to them for this is the 3rd straight year. They've basically been in the same situation. The difference this year is being 10-0. I think that's a great motivating factor for the football team, the players, and the coaches. And as long as they're undefeated, I think they're going to keep playing inspired football.
That is a 1st down. Teams that have gone 10-0 since 1970. Broncos, Redskins, the Giants in 1990.
That's right, I was there.
Were you?
Yeah, we lost that 11 though, and the 12.
Who beat you?
We lost to the Eagles, who were a pretty good team back then.
Mike Shanahan says this perfect season pursuit is a good thing. Napoleon Kaufman back into the backfield on 1st down. Hollis looks one way, throws another, got Tim Brown again. And Brown to about the 42.
Greg, you talk about it. What happens? They get the Broncos 3 and out, and now you can see the Raiders. They had a series. They got off the field. Now they're back on real quick. And they're in rhythm. They're making things happen. The offensive coordinator, John Gruden, he's over there, the head coach, they're calling the plays. It's so much easier when it goes like this.
Pickup of 7 on the play. It's 2nd and 3. And Hollis going to walk away and call a timeout. And that'll stop the clock with 7:27 to play here in the 3rd. 2nd and 3 for the Raiders, driving when we come back to Mile High Stadium. 27 to play, 3rd quarter. 8th play of this drive for the Raiders. 2nd and 3 from the Denver 42. Kaufman across the 40, and that's close to another 1st down. It appears he has it.
You know, last night talking to Napoleon Kaufman, I like what he said one time to us. I was asking cutbacks, this and that, and, you know, all the theories that people have, and he goes, you know what I do when I run? I just run where there's less feet. And I go, well, okay, I've never heard it from that perspective, but it makes sense to me.
Less feet,
less
good
feet.
Yardage.
Can't be as many people.
1st down Raiders. Dancing up the middle is Kaufman once again. See how many feet he encounters.
Well, you know, I guess, you know, he's not the tallest running back in the National Football League. So here he is. He goes up and he says, "Let me look over here. There's some big feet. Let me get, man, oh man." And he just hopped around Barrett Robbins' big right foot. And that's something he does very, very well. Bill Romanowski, the linebacker for the Broncos, said the guy is a good inside runner, even though he's not that big.
Hollis throws into the flat to Kaufman. Kaufman banged down at the 30-yard line after about a 4-yard gain.
Now, you saw that last play when he made that hop. Now, see, when you can do things like that, you know, you're going to have some sore ankles every once in a while. I mean, that's some stopping and starting. But again, a good strategy by the Raiders and Donald Hollis. When you look down the field, nothing there. Give it to Napoleon Kaufman on the fringe of the offense. He can make something happen, make some people miss.
Raiders with some momentum. 3rd and 2 at the 30. Play action fake. Hollis throws, got a man. Derek Brown across the 15-yard line. That's a first down for the Oakland Raiders.
Boy, what a play. Now, that's the play I've been asking for all day. See, I'm a frustrated coach up here, but watch Derek Brown go across the field. Now, watch Donald Hollis. Boom, right in his face, but what a good job finding your second receiver, throwing it over John Mobley with just the perfect touch to get the completion.
3 chances to convert a 3rd down, and they have made all 3 on this drive. First down from the 14. Play action again. Hollis rolling, end zone, touchdown. James Jett with a 14-yard catch. And look at the Raiders.
Well, they've got it going. The Raiders, they got the Broncos defense. They got it off balance. They're mixing up their plays well now. And what they've done, they've got Donald Hollis into the game, putting him on the edges, moving him around, and he is making it happen. And James Jett, good job seeing the quarterback get outside, make a little adjustment, and a good throw and catch.
Greg Davis for the extra point. The snap is good. The kick is perfect. 5 minutes, 6 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. What a terrific drive by the Oakland Raiders. Hollis to James Jett. It's a 17-14 Broncos lead.
Sponsored by Volvo. Volvo reminds you to drive safely. And by Pepsi One. Only one has it all.
Impressively, the Raiders go 73 yards in 12 plays in 5 minutes, 17 seconds, and they are right back into the thick of things as they trail by 3. And Donald Hollis to James Jett was the touchdown pass.
3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. Donald Hollis moving around, buying the time, making the throws.
Vaughn Hebron. 15. Penalty marker flies. He's up to the 30 and dragged down at about the 33 or 34-yard line. Bucky Brooks with the tackle, but now let's check the marker. Holding call against the Denver Broncos.
Holding. Number 48 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, it's been one good thing after another happening for the Oakland Raiders. Let's check in with Armin Katayan. Armin?
Well, Greg, you're exactly right. You can feel that on the sidelines here. John Gruden had a smile on his face. The assistant coaches are engaged with the players. The players are up talking to each other, slapping hands. An entirely different feeling than there was in the first half. Back to you.
Thanks, Armin. George Coghill guilty of that hold, and they'll go back to the ground game with Terrell Davis for maybe about 2 yards.
You know what happens too, Greg? The Raider offense comes out at the end of the half. They show some life. They come out and score this touchdown now, and it does something to the defense too. It gives them hope. They go, man, if we can stop these guys one more time like we did last time, 3 and out, we could be winning this football game. So, you know, anytime one side of the team does something well, it usually rubs off on the other.
Look at how the Raiders have turned things around in the total yardage department here in the second half. Elway with time out of the backfield Davis diving for a first down.
And because of the style of Raider defense today, not being complicated, not taking chances, it lets Elway move around. And what they're willing to give up are these short passes to the running back over the middle. Now the hard thing comes, you got to make the tackle.
Clock continues to run, coming up on 3:45 to play here in the third. First down, Denver at their own 30. Davis again, left side, running room. 7, maybe 8 yards before he's brought down by Marquise Walker and Lewis Riddick. Well, let's go back to week 3 of this season. The Broncos went into Oakland, and the Raiders played them pretty evenly. It was a 7-point game going into the fourth quarter. They finished up losing that game 34-17, but the Raiders, perhaps getting some confidence out of the way they played that game, won 6 of their next 7 games.
There's no question they drew a lot of confidence out of that game going into their following games and bringing into this one. We heard it talking to the coaches last night and all the players. They think they can stand in there and slug it out with this football team.
On 2nd and 2, Davis has first down yardage, dances across the 40 to about the 43.
And you know what? If it wasn't Terrell Davis running the football for the Denver Broncos, well, a lot of teams could say these things too, but he has broken so many tackles today. You know, added on, like, remember the one scoring drive when they made it 17-0, it's 3rd and 4. They got him behind the line of scrimmage. Terrell Davis, just his effort, made him go on down and score the touchdown.
Davis going to watch this one from the sideline. 131 yards on the day. Lavelle takes his place. Elway, play action, far side. Rod Smith out of bounds. Made the reception at about the 43-yard line. Marquise Walker thought he had an interception.
He did, and I'll tell you what, you can't fault Marquise Walker. Look, this guy has been in position a lot today, number 38. He does the right thing. He went underneath, and boy, what a catch. Drags that right foot. Watch Rod Smith here. Left foot, drag it, catching the ball in his fingertips. But Marquise Walker went underneath the receiver, looking for the interception. John Elway just made a perfect throw.
First down now at the Oakland 43. Back to the ground game. Lavelle, running room across the 35, down to about the 32 or 33-yard line, and now the Broncos answering the Raiders back.
Boy, that was a good job of running by Derek Lavelle. What a, just take your time. Watch him in the backfield. Watch the blocking up front. But he hesitates. There's nothing to the left. He didn't like it. He cuts back to the right and picks up the first down. But Tom Nalen, Dan Neal, Harry Swain sealing off the outside against Lance Johnstone.
Derek Lavelle doing a good job, and now Terrell Davis back into the lineup. First down from the 31. Davis gets the handoff. Stagger step through the line, still on his feet. 15, 13, 12-yard line. Albert Lewis dragged him down after a 19-yard pickup.
This is one of the reasons we're watching it right now while the Denver Broncos, why they're undefeated and why they're going to be a hard team to beat. You get in a situation, things are not going well for you. Always, when a football team, when the tide turns, momentum is on the other team's side, what do? Go to the thing you do best. That's handed to Terrell Davis.
Give it to Davis again, and this time Davis gets nowhere. Lance Johnstone making the stop about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And that may have been the last play of the third quarter. In fact, it will be. John Elway going to walk to the sideline and confer with Mike Shanahan. And that will bring the third quarter to an end. That is the end of the third quarter with the score. The Broncos 17 and the Raiders 14. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. CBS, Dr. Jack Kevorkian got away with helping more than 100 people commit suicide. What 60 Minutes will show you tonight could land him in jail tomorrow morning. Then Bruce Boxleitner and Melissa Gilbert star on Touched by an Angel, and then Saint Maybe tonight here on CBS. 2nd and 13, Elway. Time, throws, complete to Rod Smith, down to the 5.
Well, the Broncos that time, they came out, spread the offense out. Then they put Howard Griffith in motion. Nobody in the backfield, Terrell Davis in motion. They get the defense trying to make the adjustments, and look at Rod Smith. Look at the hole created just by the formation and the movement by the Denver Broncos offense.
Broncos trying to score a touchdown against a defense by the Raiders that has allowed only 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter this season. 3rd and 3. The pitch for Davis. Cuts it back. Didn't get there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Darrell Russell and Grady Jackson with the stop.
Good team defense, just good hustling by the Raiders. The backside, that's the most important thing on a defense when you're trying to stop the running game by the Denver Broncos.
So Jason Elam has come on, has kicked a field goal from 33 yards today. This will be a 23-yard attempt. Ruined the hold. Elam the kick. And he is still perfect this season in extra points and field goals. The Raiders now down 6. Plays Locked On Sundays. Welcome back to Mile High Stadium, everyone.
You know, 2 years ago he wore a smaller barrel, but he's picking up a little weight, so he had to get a bigger one. And a really frightening thought right here. What does he have on underneath that barrel? Is he Scottish? That is kind of frightening, though, isn't it?
I am not the least bit curious. In fact, if you find out, I don't want to know.
Well, somebody's got to tell me. I mean.
Yeah, we're having a barrel of fun here in Denver. 13:37 to play in regulation. Desmond Howard gonna hold it in the end zone. And so the Raiders will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. 13:31 to play. We'll be back with more of the Phil Simms Fan Club right after this.
Look at Donald Hollis right here. He's down, kind of talking to himself, saying a little prayer.
Probably saying I could use a little help on this drive.
Well, I think really what he's just trying to stay calm. That way you can see what's happening on the defense and you can make it happen. And look what he's done since the 1st quarter today.
Started off on the ground. Napoleon Kaufman gains a couple, maybe 3. It'll be 2nd down. You
know, for a quarterback, though, in that situation, what you got to do sometimes, don't get caught up in the emotion of the game. Because it ain't going to help. You know, getting all emotional as a quarterback and thinking being fired up is going to help you. Most of the time it won't. You got to have a clear head. Think about what's going on out in the field, see it, and make good decisions.
In one of the tough stadiums, the crowd getting into it. Hollis throws incomplete, nobody there. Let's go down to Armin Katayan. Armin.
You know, Greg, Donald Hollis is going to have to deal with a couple of other elements down here. One, the crowd has picked up considerably, but more so the wind, which is whipping pretty big across the field from Donald Hollis's left to right. Back to you.
All right, Armin.
Yeah, in about the last 5 minutes, you can really hear the wind and see it. It has gotten much stronger.
3rd and 7. Shot clock, play clock is down to 1, and time runs out. It'll cost them 5 yards. Give the crowd a little credit for that one.
Yeah, give the crowd and Donald.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Not the worst thing in the world, you know, so you lose the 5 yards, but you didn't rush the snap of the ball, and then you didn't create a bad situation. You didn't make it worse.
It's now 3rd and 12. And it won't get any quieter. And now we have a stoppage of play.
Well, our booth is shaking.
While we're trying to figure out what's happening down at the field, appears to be a
Please reset the game clock to 12:57.
There's 12:15 on the clock now, so Ron Winter wants it reset to 12:57.
Thank you.
Raiders tried to practice in noisy conditions this week.
Well, they did this week, and talking to some of the coaches and players, they turned it up like twice as loud as they usually have it, and probably still couldn't match the noise that they're experiencing right now on the football field.
3rd and 12. Hollis with time over the middle, intercepted. Ray Crockett underneath the intended receiver for the pick.
Well, it was a good decision by Donald Hollis. He hung in the pocket. He waited. Watch this. Tim Brown's going to come across the middle, but look at Ray Crockett. He shadows him, and then he comes underneath to make the interception. The ball's going into the wind. It looks like it knocks it down a little, knocks it to the right, and it makes it go behind Tim Brown just enough for Ray Crockett, cutting underneath, can make the interception.
Now 1st down for the Broncos at the Oakland 36. Davis, left side, turns the corner, out of bounds at about the 30. There is Ray Crockett, his 3rd interception of the season. Incidentally, Terrell Davis, now 400 straight carries without a fumble, 736 without losing a fumble to the opposition.
That's an incredible stat for a running back who runs so hard, who breaks so many tackles. And when you got to remember, when you're breaking those tackles, a lot of times somebody's coming behind trying to strip the football. So something he works on and pays attention to.
2nd and 4. Davis again for 2. Richard Harvey makes the stop.
Well, ever since the Oakland Raiders scored to make this game 17-14, the Denver Broncos are just lined up, and they are just trying to run it over the Raider defense.
And we're going to pause for a measurement here with the ball at the 28-yard line. No, Russell Maryland appears to be down on the ground.
Well, you know, we were talking to John Gruden last night, and he said something that was interesting. I think you asked him, Greg, well, Coach, are you enjoying all these close games, these exciting finishes? And he looked at us, he goes, I love it. He goes, it's just so exciting. He goes, well, you know, just once I would like to have one game where we kind of like get way ahead and just blow the other team out.
Russell Maryland heading off to the locker room. He has been bothered by a bad shoulder. Talk about tight games.
Well, I mean, every game they play is tight, but look at some of these. Coming down to the last drive for them, either scoring or trying to stop the other team.
They're 5-1. 5-1 in games decided by 3 points or less. They were 1-5 in that department last year.
Timeout!
And now timeout is called by John Elway with 11:58 to play here in the 4th quarter. It's a 6-point game.
Different kind of company, a different kind of car. Smooth, refreshing Michelob Light. Beer or Michelob. And by the NASDAQ Amex Stock Market, the market of markets.
You know, the wind is gusting so much the moon is bouncing around on us up there. We are told the wind is gusting anywhere from 30 to 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, but wait. The moon is doing what?
It was just a guess.
Oh.
3rd and 2. Elway going to throw for it. Has time. Down the sideline. Rod Smith. Touchdown. 28 yards in the touchdown. Ray Crockett got the turnover. John Elway just converted.
Well, the Raiders blitz. Watch the blitz coming up front. Here comes the linebackers, Beekert. Elway knows he has single coverage. Even though it's windy, he still picks the single coverage outside. Perry Carter trying to cover Rod Smith. Good throw by John Elway.
And now the Broncos go for 2.
Watch the quarterback draw.
Elway throws, and it's batted down at the goal line. So the score will remain 26-14 as we pause with 11:50 to play here in Denver. The Broncos back in charge. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan, 11:50 to play here in the fourth quarter, and the Broncos with a 26-14 lead, and Jason Elam ready to kick it away. Raiders now have to regroup. This will be Howard at the 5. And his blocking collapses at the 20, and he's down at about the 21-yard line. I want to remind you, tonight on CBS, Dr. Jack Kevorkian got away with helping more than 100 people commit suicide. But what 60 Minutes will show you tonight could land him in jail tomorrow morning. Then, real-life husband and wife Bruce Boxleitner and Melissa Gilbert star on Touched by an Angel. And Hallmark Hall of Fame presents Saint Maybe, the touching story of a young man who will raise his brother's family. That's all tonight and all here on CBS. From the 22, Hollis and the Raiders go back to work. As his man across the 30 to 31 is Tim Brown.
Well, there's 11 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. You're down 12 points. The Raiders, you don't have to panic. Still plenty of time, so don't let the Bronco defense, get in the rhythm of thinking pass rush. Because if you get in that situation, I don't think you can protect the quarterback well enough.
Field position has been a real problem for the Raiders. This is their 9th drive of the day. 8 have begun shy of their own 30-yard line. On the ground, Harvey Williams to about the 35. That's a pickup of 3 on the play. Clock continues to move. We're now under 11 minutes to play.
And again, you talk about this Raider offense when they've really had success today, when they've gotten big chunks against the Broncos defense, it's when they've moved a quarterback or Donald Hollis just drops back, doesn't find anybody open, he moves and makes something happen.
2nd and 7. Hollis down the middle. Incomplete. John Mobley there to break up the pass intended for Ricky Dudley.
Well, this is where you really get in trouble. Donald Hollis, if you're the coach, you're talking in his helmet, say, Donald, you can't throw this pass for a couple reasons. One, it's way too far down the field. He doesn't throw it hard enough. The safeties have too long to react to the football. And watch what happens. 3 guys around the football for the Denver Broncos when it gets there.
When you say it's too far down the field, it's too far down the field for Donald Hollis, who doesn't have an exceptionally strong arm.
Doesn't have a great arm. He has a good arm, but not great. So when you throw it down the field, you need to put a lot of speed on it.
And now the play clock runs down on Hollis and another penalty marker. Delay of game against the Raiders. John Gruden is less than pleased.
Penalty. Remains 3rd down.
And when you're the visiting team into a stadium like this against the Denver Broncos, you just cannot come to the line of scrimmage and make adjustments vocally, because the players are not going to hear you. And by the time you finally get it communicated to everybody, it's too late.
3rd and 12. Hollis goes down. 4th sack of the day by the Broncos. Tanuvasa led the charge.
Boy, what a surprise. Just an added gift. Tanuvasa, number 98 for the Denver Broncos. Neil Smith forces him up. Tanuvasa from the inside gets the tackle. But the Broncos just have numerous defensive linemen who can run, put pressure on the quarterback. They get to Donald Hollis that time.
Aragoose kicking to Darian Gordon from the 35. Dodges a tackler, cuts inside, midfield, 40, cuts back inside the 25-yard line, and the Broncos again in scoring position. 42-yard punt, a 42-yard return.
Well, always in returning punts, the most important thing to do, if you can make that first wave miss you, and Darian Gordon that time, watch what happens. Once he makes that move, that second move, he cuts it up. Now you got a chance to gain some big yardage. And good blocking down the field by the special teams players of the Broncos. Everybody hustling. make a great play out of it.
Darian Gordon came into this season #1 in NFL history in punt return yardage for a career. Elway hit from behind, loses the football, and the Raiders have it. James Harris recovers the fumble, and Lance Johnstone forced it.
Anytime a quarterback, you move around the pocket, what happens is you got to be careful. The pressure is going to come from behind because the defensive linemen keep hustling after you.
In over 700 offensive plays, only the second fumble Denver has lost all season.
And by Staples, the office superstore.
9:44 to play, regulation, first down, Raiders at their own 32. Hollis to throw. Plenty of time. Throws incomplete. Intended receiver 82, James Jett. And Donald Hollis doing a little yelling.
Well, watch what happens, Craig. Watch this ball once it gets up in the air. James Jett is open, and you can see the wind. Hits it, knocking it down, pushing it everywhere. It's tough for receivers. Not only does a quarterback have a hard time throwing it, but the ball's going to move. Receivers really got to concentrate.
Hollis comes into the flat. Harvey Williams juggles it, grabs it, knocked out of bounds at about the 35. Pickup of about 3. John Mobley knocked him out of bounds.
You know, when you get in these type of situations, the Raider offense are down 12 points. What you do, that's one of the reasons why you put Harvey Williams in. One, if the Denver Broncos blitz, he's a bigger running back, can pick him up. And 2, he's a good pass receiver out of the backfield.
So now Hollis and the Raiders are looking at 3rd and 6 from their own 36. Here's Napoleon Kaufman. Quick pass, batted into the air, intercepted. Neil Smith. And the Broncos get the ball right back.
Well, the Broncos, when things get tough and they get tight, they just apply the pressure. That time, 3rd and 6, blitz the quarterback, get as much pressure as you can on him, and then it's a short drop by Donald Hollis. Then the defensive lineman, the good thing to do, watch this. They reach up, hit the ball in the air. Good job by number 91, Alfred Williams. And then Neil Smith says, man, I was a running back in high school. Well, I used to be a good running back.
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
His 2nd career interception. And now Terrell Davis pulls ahead to about the 37, maybe the 36-yard line. Clock continues to move. We're under 9 minutes to play. Neil Smith.
You know, that's a defensive lineman's dream. You know, that ball gets knocked up in the air and they pick it off, and man, they're immediately thinking, glory, we're going to score a touchdown, look at the stiff arm, some people, things like that. But Alfred Williams did a good job of seeing the short drop by the quarterback, got his hands up and caused the interception.
Penalty markers fly as Terrell Davis moves the ball again.
And that was really a good move by John Elway. You got to know when to use your voice inflection, and it's really important now. You're up 12. What you want to do is get 1 first down running the football, and you can knock off about 2.5, 3 minutes of the clock. That time, 2nd and 8.
Offside. Defense, the left tackle. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
I think that's on Russell Maryland, number 67.
And James Harris. Both of them are kind of, he had them all jumping again. 4 times today, 4 times John Elway has used his voice inflection to draw the Raiders defensive line offsides. Only 7 penalties by the Raiders, 4 of them offsides just from long counts.
2nd and 2. Davis, right side, first down, near the 25-yard line. Charles Woodson coming up from the corner to make the stop.
Well, you know, when there's 8 minutes to go in the game, you're down 12. The Raiders know the Broncos, they're going to run the football. Terrell Davis, boy, you could see that. That play was supposed to go up the middle. He saw some daylight to the right. Just take it there and get the first down.
Davis on the sidelines with 164 yards today.
And you know, I love how they spell him every now and then. Once he carries a few times in a row, they take him out of the game, put another running back in there.
That other running back is Derek Lavelle. Big hole up the middle across the 20 to about the 17-yard line.
And Derek Lavelle, he's rewarding them. You know, he's fresh, hasn't carried the ball much, runs up there with some energy, some power, and gets those positive yards.
For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Oakland against Denver. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms and Armin Katayan. 26-14. Broncos lead the Raiders. Just under 7 minutes to play. We remind you 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast and here in the Mountain Time Zone. Derek Lavelle with the carry.
Now this last drive, all this has been about managing the clock, managing the football game by the Denver Broncos. As soon as they got that football back, all they were thinking about, let's get some first downs, run this clock out, give the Oakland Raiders no chance to win it, and I'll bet you John Elway snaps this inside of 3 seconds.
It has been a typical Denver Broncos performance. 164 yards rushing for Terrell Davis. This is Derek Lavelle. And he gets close to the 10-yard line and a pickup of 4 on the play before James Harris drags him down.
Boy, Derek Lavelle, he kind of looks like Terrell Davis running up in there. I mean, kind of the same body type, about the same size, and when he grabs that football, he doesn't hesitate. He just runs it up in there.
So Lavelle does a good job of spelling Terrell Davis. He now comes off the field.
And you know, that does happen, Greg. Guys that are backups sometimes, it's only smart. You watch Terrell Davis and see all the good things he does. You should try to emulate those, and it looks like he's done them.
Play clock is at 3. The give is to Davis. Davis can't escape a tackler, and that's number 52, Richard Harvey.
Well, one of the few mistakes John Elway made a couple plays ago, he snapped the ball with 4 seconds left. You just can't do that.
It has been another big hallmark day for John Elway, who has gone over the 50,000-yard mark in career passing. Only Dan Marino has done that in National Football League history. John Elway did that fairly early on, too.
Wow, those two, they've been chasing each other their whole careers, and it's kind of amazing coming out the same year, and they've both been so durable.
Play clock down to 2, and they call timeout. And that stops the clock with 4:47 to play here in the 4th quarter. So Elway comes over to confer. And for those of you who've just joined us, as we said, it's been a fairly typical day for the Denver Broncos. Jason Elam got the Broncos on the board first with a field goal in the 1st quarter and a 3-0 Denver lead, and then Shannon Sharp, a 7-yard touchdown catch to make it 10-0 in the 2nd. Terrell Davis got his touchdown from a yard out to make it 17-0. It looked like a Broncos runaway, but just before halftime, Ricky Dudley caught a 29-yard touchdown pass from Donald Hollis, and then in the 3rd quarter, a 14-yarder. Hollis to James Jett cut it to 3. Elam added a 23-yarder to make it 20-14. And then Rod Smith with a 28-yard touchdown catch from Elway. The 2-point conversion try was no good. It's a 26-14 game as Elway and the Broncos look at 3rd and 7 from the 12. And he got him to jump again. Number 90, Grady Jackson.
Now, you know, there's a pattern developing here. If I was a defensive guy, I mean, you got to get in the huddle and say, don't jump off sides with the snap count.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, unevaded to the quarterback, a 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
And the only reason you've got to say that is because he's done it 4 other times today.
Oh, man, that's right. That's 5. You can bet. Now, next week, whoever's preparing for the Denver Broncos, that's the #1 thing on the defensive playbook. Don't jump off sides. Listen to the snap count. React to the ball, not to the quarterback's voice.
Meanwhile, Elway and the Broncos march relentlessly on toward what they hope will be an 11th consecutive victory. the only unbeaten team in the National Football League. Elway, quick pass, incomplete, and going for the interception. There's a penalty marker down. Albert Lewis had it bounce off his hands.
It looked like miscommunication between Shannon Sharpe and John Elway.
Albert Lewis very upset at what appears to be call against the Raiders.
Illegal contact. Number 29 of the defense. Penalized half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Here's Albert Lewis, number 29. This is a good matchup between him and Shannon Sharpe. And Albert Lewis, what happened is he saw the play. He realized right away, he read John Elway's drop. He said they're going to try to throw a quick slant. He beat Shannon Sharpe to the spot. Should not have been a foul.
First and goal from the 3. Elway going to throw for it. This side, touchdown, Howard Griffin. With that touchdown pass, John Elway has now tied Warren Moon at 289. That's number 4 all-time in the National Football League.
You know, again, when you get down inside the 5-yard line against this Denver Bronco offense, what are you playing? If you play run and they throw it, it's a give up. It's an automatic touchdown. Nobody covering Howard Griffith that time.
Elam's kick is good. In a game eerily reminiscent of the first meeting between these two teams.
And look at Terrell Davis. He gets in the way of James Folsom just enough to give John Elway time to find an uncovered Howard Griffith in the end zone.
John Elway just another step on the way.
And I've seen that salute so many times, I think I could do it.
4:39 to play. Let's check in once again with Jim Nantz in New York for an NFL Today report.
All right, thank you, Greg. And check it out now. It's a big lead here for Kansas City, 27 unanswered. But in the fourth quarter, the effort by Terrell Fletcher, to get into the end zone, cut it down to 10 with 7:51 remaining. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
All right, Jim.
You know, I mean, we've done enough Denver games now where we've seen that salute quite a bit. Do you know how to salute? Don't want to, huh?
Against my religion.
Oh.
Mentioned that first meeting between these two teams, Phil. It's very much like that one. The Raiders played them very tight, and then at the end, they just couldn't hang on.
The Broncos apply pressure for 60 minutes. It's hard for most teams to match that.
Desmond Howard from the 5. 20. Out to the 25-yard line. To remind you, coming up, once we wind things down here tonight on CBS. 60 Minutes, Touched by an Angel, and the CBS Sunday movie Saint Maybe. That's still to come tonight on CBS. And so the Raiders take to the field again, and not quite with the same vigor that they had been doing so earlier in this half.
Well, you know, there's always a point in the game you realize, well, there's no chance of winning, but really as an offensive unit, you got to go out there, get in the huddle and say, let's go ahead and get one more good drive before the day is over.
Clock continues to run. You know, you were asking about that mile-high salute.
Oh, that is good. Now he's going to pick it up. Oh, now don't fumble. Spreading to the sideline.
What do you think? He's a quarterback?
Yeah, oh no. The 10, the 5. See, I always want to do a little play-by-play, so I just did some there. Felt good.
4 minutes remaining.
I think I can do these games by myself.
Hollis throws, complete. Mickens hammered down by 3 Broncos at the 40. 16-yard pickup, and that'll be an Oakland first down.
You know, as a lot of people probably watched this game today, 33-14. It was close there for a while. Everybody kind of makes the same mistake. They go, see, the Broncos, they can be beat. Why? Because it got close? You know, you got to continuously somehow avoid the pressure they're going to put on you.
John Ritchie with the pass reception out of the backfield for about a 5-yard pickup. Bronco defense has chipped in with a couple of interceptions today.
But you got to admit, we saw a shot of John Gruden. Watching the Raiders, it is an entirely different team from last year. Just the attitude, the way they play, they never give up.
Crockett went for the pick, didn't get it. Mickens, 35, down to the 32-yard line. Crockett went looking for his second interception of the day and just missed it. And the Raiders going now without a huddle, 2:50 to play. Hollis, quick drop, gets rid of it, intercepted. Tyrone Braxton to the 20, cuts back, the 10, one man beat and he can't beat him. Tim Brown got him inside the 5. 62-yard return by the 12-year veteran out of North Dakota State.
Tyrone Braxton, he's in there playing because Eric Brown is hurt. A veteran lost his starting job this year. Still a productive player at safety. What happens is, watch Donald Hollis, he waits too long. The safety reads it. Boy, he'd been waiting for that all day long. And as he's running down the field here, oh, I'm getting tired. Good job of cutting back right here, but that took a lot of energy out of his legs. And he's tackled just short of the end zone. I know a lot of players are going to be happy for him because he handles his demotion so well, such a good team player, such a vital part the last couple years of the Broncos getting this thing turned around. And what a good thing to have as a backup, a veteran who's made a lot of good plays.
The man down in the end zone, we believe, is Harold Hasselbeck. And they are looking for him, reminding you, tonight on 60 Minutes, Dr. Jack Kevorkian got away with helping more than 100 people commit suicide. But what 60 Minutes will show you tonight could land him in jail tomorrow morning. That's 60 Minutes tonight.
And I got to tell everybody here a little information, you know, we pick up along the way. Talking to Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator. Yesterday, we were talking about Tyrone Braxton, how he's handled this whole situation. And I was talking about him. He goes, "Oh, you mean chicken?" So I said, "Chicken?" He goes, "Well, that's what everybody calls him around here." So maybe, I don't know what the reason is. Maybe it's because his legs are not, like, you know, big and meaty. I don't know. But
I'll tell him you said so.
No, I mean in a good way.
Harold Hasselbeck being helped off the field. 5th-year man out of the University of Washington.
But you know, Greg, looking at Tyrone Braxton, it's really important for good football teams like the Denver Broncos. When you look at the backups, it's good to have veteran backups because if something happens to a starting player, they can come in and, you know, there's no readjustments. They're going to pick up right where the starter left off.
Vaughn Hebron and Anthony Lynn are the running backs. Hebron to the goal line. Touchdown. The turnover is converted just like that.
Well, there's a common trait with these Bronco running backs, no matter who's in there. When you see daylight, turn it up in there and run hard. Good job that time.
Hebron, his first touchdown of the year. Elam still hasn't missed an extra point or a field goal attempt. 2:23 to play, and the Broncos now insured of win number 11. Last time we saw the Broncos, I asked you what you thought about the possibilities of them going undefeated, and you said it was a little early to tell. How about now?
I said let's wait till 10 games. And once they get to 10, if they get 10 wins, then I think it's something that everybody's going to talk about, which that's all I've heard really for the last week once I knew I was going to do this game. But I think it's a real possibility. Greg, you see it. Even when you get close and you get the games, you make it exciting. Can you hang in there? Because they keep pushing and pushing, and it's just hard to withstand their talent and the coaching they have on both sides of the football.
This marks the first time a defending Super Bowl champion has started the following season 11-0. Here's what remains for the Broncos.
Well, only one winning record. That's at Miami, their 15th game of the season. But some of these other teams, San Diego, Kansas City, Seattle, they're in the same division. So
you missed the Giants there.
Well, the Giants, they're not in their division.
No, I know. I just didn't want you to skip over the Giants there.
No, that's my old team. I see them.
Oh.
They won today. They're on the rebound.
Yes, they are.
But the other thing I really like about the Broncos, they're not afraid to talk about it. They always talk about the game, but hey, the perfect season, hey, they're looking to do something that's, unique and something special.
Desmond Howard will not run this one out. And so 2:16 remaining to be played.
And everybody kind of brings up about the Denver Broncos. Well, they're really, really good. They're this, all the good things. But they look at the defense and they say, but that's where they can be had. And they're ranked 9th in the NFL right now in total defense. They jumped 10 spots in 2 weeks. And I think the defense has got the capabilities. They'll give up some yards, but they know how to make big plays. It's inventive. Greg Robinson, he's done a good job. He built this defense around the players.
Harvey Williams straight ahead, close to the 25-yard line, and that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Denver's average margin of victory this year, 15.5 points a game. They've only scored under 27 points once all season long. That was 21 in a victory over Seattle. 2 minutes to be played here in Mile High Stadium, where the Broncos are well on their way to the 11th straight win. Hats off to the Denver Broncos tonight.
Enterprise rent a car for my trip? Looks expensive.
It's not expensive, Mom.
They pick us up? Sounds expensive.
Pickup's free, Mom.
Well, if it's not expensive, why didn't I get a convertible?
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick.
Tribute to Mike Shanahan's offensive mind.
I mean, most teams, you celebrate if you get over 30 a couple times a year.
Harvey Williams stopped after pickup of a couple.
But you know what, Greg? When you've had this type of success, which Denver's had over the last 3 years, so dominant, so explosive on both sides of the ball, people, as we see Harold Hasselbeck being taken off the field, people go, well, let's find out what they're doing. He's doing it so well. Some of his assistants must know what's going on. So I would think maybe after this year, with some of the openings going to come open around the league, that Mike Shanahan could lose some coaches.
Hollis overthrows his intended receiver. That's number 84, Kenny Shedd. In fact, he has a couple of able assistants in Gary Kubiak, his offensive coordinator, and Greg Robinson, his defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I know. I think he even said it best. I said, what would you do if you lost them both? He wasn't real happy about it, but he goes, well, Gary Kubiak, since I work with the offense, I could handle. But if I lose Greg Robinson, now, I don't do a lot with that defense, so he knows that would be a big thing to overcome. And I know they both want to be head coaches. I think they're both going to get a chance to interview for some jobs and maybe get one this season.
Aragu's line drive punt. Gordon going to let it go. It bounces at the 30 and now down inside the 20-yard line. And blown dead at about the 17.5. That'll go down in the books as a 56-yard punt for Aragu's.
And you look on the other side of the field, you see John Gruden and his team has made such a good turnaround. The defense, that's the most amazing thing. From 30th in the league, the worst, coming into this game, they were the second best in the NFL. Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator, he's the man responsible. He's got the players believing. He's a teacher. He takes care of all the little points. And, even though they gave up 40 points today, they still gave a good effort and were well coached.
Before this game, 34 had been the most Oakland had given up this year, and that was in week 3 to these Denver Broncos.
And, there's another guy, Willie Shaw, talking about guys who are going to get a chance to get a head job. I believe he's going to get a chance. And I asked him, I said, would you look forward to that? And he said, of course he would. And he says, if somebody would give me an interview, they won't be disappointed. I don't know if they'll hire me, but I won't disappoint them. And after hearing him talk last night, I have to agree.
He has done good things with this Oakland defense. This is a team, as we said, that won 4 games all of last season. Elway with the kneel down and 33 seconds remaining. And that'll do it. 11 games, 11 wins for the Denver Broncos, and the juggernaut rolls on.
And you get a chance once again, even if you play the Denver Broncos tough and hard, for 2 or 3 quarters, you got to hang in there because they're going to keep on coming.
Final seconds tick off, and it's still perfection. Once again, the final score, the Broncos 40 and the Raiders 14. Tonight on CBS, Dr. Jack Kevorkian has delivered a tape to 60 Minutes, which could land him in jail tomorrow. You won't want to miss 60 Minutes. Then it's Touched by an Angel, followed by the touching story of a young man who will raise his brother's family. Hallmark Hall of Fame presents St. Maybe tonight on CBS. For Phil Simms and Armin Katayan, I'm Greg Gumbel. So long from Denver.
Guys, you've always made me look great, but I gotta let you go.
What?
I've got NFL Quarterback Club 99.
A video game's gonna protect your blind side?
Yeah, and also pick up the blitz. With all new gameplay and passing controls, it's a 3-step drop, and I'm moving the chains. Sorry, guys. NFL Quarterback Club 99 can get me to the Super Bowl, and I don't have to buy it dinner. The #1 football game on N64 just got a whole lot better. NFL Quarterback Club 99. Acclaimed Sports. Sweat the details.